can go on the record. Court reporter, are we on the record? Folks, the reason why I'm delaying is because I see that a notice that, go ahead.
Just a minute, please.
Sure.
Okay, we should be good.
I know, are you able to hear us? I noticed that you, I have a icon that says that you have low bandwidth issues. Are you able to hear us?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Go ahead.
I have a notification that you have a low bandwidth. Are you able to hear us?
I'm sorry. Try again.
Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, I'm hearing you good now.
Okay, thank you. Today is February 23rd, 2021. We're here for Public Service Commission case number 95100 in the matter of the continuing investigation of the purchase gas adjustment charges of Columbia Gas of Maryland, Inc. My name is Jennifer Grace. I am the Public Utility Law Judge assigned to handle this matter, and we can start with appearances from the company.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Megan Moore on behalf of Columbia Gas.
Good morning, Ms. Moore. Are you entering the appearance of Mr. Gallagher as well?
Yes, he's not present, but I would like to enter his appearance.
Okay, thank you. From OPC?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Philip Sheehan on behalf of OPC.
Good morning, Mr. Sheehan. And for staff?
Good morning, Your Honor. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. I'd also enter the appearance of Annette Garofalo.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. All right, does anyone have any preliminary issues before I move to the company? Hearing none, does the company have any exhibits this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. Consistent with past practice and consistent with the email I sent you and the parties yesterday, I would ask that the pre-filed certificate of publication filed February 16th be marked as Columbia Exhibit 1.
Columbia Exhibit 1 is marked.
And if there are no objections, I would ask that Columbia Exhibit 1 be moved into the record.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. We're hearing no objections. Columbia Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Okay. And next I would ask that we mark the testimony and 5 supporting exhibits of Tina Monig as Columbia Exhibit 2.
Columbia Exhibit 2 is marked.
And then I would also ask that we mark the testimony of Caitlin Schweitzer and her 5 supporting exhibits as Columbia Exhibit 3.
Columbia Exhibit 3 is marked.
Okay, and Your Honor, at this time, Columbia would call Ms. Tina Monig.
Ms. Monig, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, I do.
Can you spell your last name for the court reporter, please?
M.
Okay, thank you very much. Your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Monig, for the record, can you please state your employer and your title?
I'm employed by NISOR, is Manager of Supply and Capacity Planning.
Thank you. Do you have before you your direct testimony in this case consisting of 19 pages of testimony together with supporting exhibits TMM1, TMM2, TMM3, TMM4, and TMM5, each all 1 page, all filed and dated January 12, 2021 at mail log number 233259, previously marked as Columbia Exhibit 2?
Yes.
Was this testimony and your exhibits prepared by you or under your direct supervision?
Yes.
Do you have any changes, corrections, or updates to the documents?
No,
Would your testimony and your exhibits be true and are they true and accurate to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
yes,
If you were giving the same testimony and providing the same exhibits today, would they be the same as when they were originally filed?
yes,
Okay, Your Honor, I would ask that the testimony exhibits of Ms. Monig, previously marked as Columbia Exhibit 3, be moved into the record pending any objections.
I have it as Columbia Exhibit 2, but are there any objections? Hearing none, Columbia Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions for Ms. Monig.
Mr. Sheehan.
I have one question for Ms. Monig. Good morning. I'm not going to pretend that I understand how this calculation is done, but a consultant that we have on retainer questioned the heating degree days that you use in your in forecasting demand, and thought that those days were a bit low compared to the average in the last 23 days. Can you just tell me how you come up with the days that you use?
how we come up with the heating degree days? Is that your
Correct.
question? Yeah, so the heating degree days are based on the actual temperatures less the base temperature of 65 degrees, and those are summed up across the period to incorporate the heating degree days.
So you, if I were to tell you that our consultant thought that they were 4.5% lower than the actuals, could you explain that, or do you disagree with that?
Well, it depends on what weather station he was looking at. We use 2 weather stations in Maryland, and they are weighted, so I'm not sure what the consultant was looking at when he did his calculation.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Staff, Mr. Spivak.
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Monig, what weather stations do you use?
We use Hagerstown, and I would need to look up the other one. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I can get that back to you.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. Ms. Moore, do you have any redirect?
Ms. Monig, do you have the weather stations noted in your testimony?
Let me
Let's
check.
consult your testimony.
I don't believe it's noted in the testimony.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further from me.
Thank you for your testimony this morning, Ms. Monig. Ms. Moore, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Columbia calls Ms. Caitlin Schweitzer.
Ms. Schweitzer, will you turn on your mic and raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or, thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Can you spell your full name for the court reporter, please?
Yes. Caitlin, K-A-T-E-L-Y-N-N-E. Schweitzer, S-W-I-T-Z-E-R.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Moore.
Good morning, Ms. Schweitzer. For the record, can you please state your employer and your title?
I am employed by Columbia Gas of Maryland as a regulatory analyst.
Thank you. Do you have before you your direct testimony in this case consisting of 4 pages of testimony, together with exhibits KS1, KS2, KS3, KS4, KS5, dated and filed January 12th, 2021, pre-marked collectively as Exhibit 3?
Yes.
Okay. Was this testimony and were those exhibits prepared by you or under your direct supervision?
Yes.
Do you have any changes, corrections, or updates to those documents?
No.
Is your testimony and are your exhibits true and accurate to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
Yes.
If you were giving the same testimony and providing the same exhibits today, would your testimony and the exhibits be the same as when they were originally filed?
Yes.
Your Honor, if there are no objections, I would ask that the testimony and exhibits of Ms. Schweitzer, previously marked as Columbia Exhibit 3, be admitted into the record.
Any objection? Columbia Exhibit 3 is admitted.
Okay. Ms. Schweitzer, can you please provide a brief description of what operational order charges revenue is?
Yes. Operational order charges revenue is a revenue resulting from operational orders issued by the company. The company issues operational orders to protect the daily supply of its self-service customers. If a transportation supplier and/or customer violates the company's operational order, the violator is assessed a charge. The charge is also known as an operational order charge revenue.
Okay, how is the company treating operational order charges revenue in this proceeding?
In this proceeding, the company is crediting $67,664 of operational order charges revenue through the commodity portion of the ACA beginning December 30th of 2020.
Does Columbia's PGA include any other revenue credited to customers aside from operational order charges revenue?
Yes. When an interstate pipeline charges penalties to shippers who violate their operational orders, the pipeline allocates the penalty credit revenue to non-offending shippers. When Columbia receives an allocation of penalty credit revenue, we credit the revenue to our customers through the PGA.
Does Columbia assess interest on those penalty credit revenues?
No.
Your Honor, yesterday I sent you and Counsel for Staff and OPC a copy of Columbia's tariff page 132. I would ask that that tariff page be marked as Columbia Exhibit 4.
Columbia Exhibit 4 is marked.
Thank you. Ms. Schweitzer, do you have before you Columbia Exhibit 4?
Yes,
What is Columbia Exhibit 4?
it is the tariff page in the purchase gas adjustment clause section of Columbia's tariff.
Ms. Schweitzer, what is specifically addressed on this tariff page?
Supplier refunds and penalty credits.
You said penalty credits. Can you read to yourself the penalty credits section of page 132?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please tell us what the tariff states with regard to penalty credits and interest?
Columbia's tariff states that if the company receives funds from an interstate pipeline as a result of a penalty credit, that those funds shall be allocated without interest. And then it goes on to explain the allocation.
Thank you. You stated that the tariff page also addresses supplier refunds. Can you tell us what the tariff says with regard to supplier refunds and interest?
Yes, it states that when the company receives such refunds, it shall dispose of the applicable amount, including any interest thereon.
So the company does assess interest on supplier refunds.
Yes.
Can you tell us why the company assesses interest on supplier refunds but not on penalty credits?
Yes. Supplier refunds were monies actually billed to PGA customers for commodities or services related to the gas purchase for them. So the supplier refunds were actually part of the rates originally billed to the PGA customers, who then get these monies refunded to them. But the penalty credits were credits that came from a shipper's non-compliance and not originally part of the rates billed to the PGA customers.
So is it proper for the company to assess interest on the refunds but not on the credits?
Yes, because the refunds are part of money that was originally paid by the customer as opposed to the credits.
Ms. Schweitzer, is operational order charges revenue considered to be a refund or a credit?
It is a credit.
Was the treatment of operational order charges revenue part of the company's most recent base rate proceeding, case number 9644?
Yes, it was a part of the unanimous settlement in case number 9644, which was approved by the commission on November the 9th of 2020.
Thank you. Have you reviewed the record in case number 9644, including the unanimous settlement approved by the commission?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, yesterday I sent you and Counsel for Staff and OPC a copy of the settlement in case number 9644. And I would ask that the settlement in case number 9644 be marked as Columbia Exhibit 5.
Columbia Exhibit 5 is so marked.
Thank you. Ms. Schweitzer, do you have before you Columbia Exhibit 5?
Yes,
What is Columbia Exhibit 5?
it is the unanimous settlement in case number 9644.
Can you identify for the record which provision of the settlement specifically addresses operational order charges revenue?
Paragraph K of the settlement on page number 4.
Can you summarize that paragraph for us?
Under the operational order charges revenue provision of the settlement, Columbia will credit a total of $202,992 of operational order charges revenue through the commodity portion of the company's ACA over a 3-year period, beginning with the ACA that commenced in December of 2020.
Is the company complying with the settlement provision you just described?
Yes, it is.
Was commission staff party to the settlement?
Yes.
And when did you say the settlement was approved?
The settlement was approved by the Public Utility Law Judge on October the 7th, and then approved by the Commission on November the 9th of 2020.
In paragraph K of the settlement, do you know why it is the company agreed to amortize the revenue over a 3-year period?
From reviewing the record in case number 9644, it is apparent that the company chose the 3-year period as those revenues were originally collected over a 3-year period. So the company proposed to credit the revenues to its sales customers in the similar time frame.
Okay, does the settlement provision state that the company will accrue interest on the $202,992 of operational order charges revenue?
No.
After reviewing the record in case number 9644, did any party testify that the company should credit the operational order charges revenue in that case to customers all at once?
No, I do not believe so.
Do you recall any record evidence suggesting that the company should accrue interest on the operational order charges revenue?
Yes, as part of bench data requests, Public Utility Judge Lawrence asked why the settlement did not provide for interest to be accrued on the operational order charges revenue.
And what was the company's response to the bench data request?
The company stated that the joint settlement does not provide for any interest to be accrued or paid on the revenue. Further, the company stated that the company's PGA customers did not pay for any commodities or services associated with operational order charges revenue, nor were they billed for any commodities or services associated with the revenues. Therefore, the company did not apply interest to it.
Is the company's answer to that bench data request, is it still true today?
Yes, I would stress that the credit of operational order charges revenue to PGA customers is just that, a credit. It is not a refund of money that PGA customers have previously paid.
Thank you. Did Public Utility Law Judge Lawrence ultimately approve the unanimous settlement, even though it did not provide for interest to be accrued on the operational order charges revenue?
Yes.
Do you believe that the company would have considered accruing interest on the revenue if it were brought up in case number 9644?
No, I do not believe that the company would have considered accruing interest on the revenue, but I do believe the company would have at least considered passing the amount all back at once if a party to the proceeding had suggested we pay interest.
After reviewing the record in 9644, did any party to the proceeding bring up the idea of assessing interest on the operational order charges revenue?
No, only Judge Lawrence brought it up at the hearing on September 10th of 2020.
Okay, in this proceeding, what does staff recommend regarding, with regard to Columbia's operational order charges revenue?
On page 13 of her direct testimony, staff witness Shea recommends that the deferred revenue credit amount of $135,328 accrue carrying costs for the benefit of the ratepayers. Staff recommends that the carrying cost should be calculated using the company's rate of return.
Ms. Schweitzer, do you agree with staff's recommendation?
No, I do not.
Can you please explain why you don't agree with staff's recommendation?
The company is not accruing interest on the operational order charges revenue, as it's never done so in the past. Further, just like penalty credits, the operational order charges revenue is not a refund of money that the PGA customers ever paid in the first place. While the company deems it appropriate to credit the operational order charges revenue to its PGA customers, the company does not deem it appropriate to assess interest on that revenue.
Is staff's recommendation consistent with, is staff's recommendation in this proceeding consistent with the rate case settlement provision regarding operational order charges revenue?
No.
Why not?
Staff agreed to a 3-year credit mechanism in the rate case settlement, and that settlement is silent on the issue of interest on the revenue to be credited to PGA customers. Now staff is essentially trying to renegotiate the settlement by way of litigating the issue in this case. Columbia submits that what staff is attempting to do is fundamentally unfair.
Your Honor, at this time, if there are no objections, I would ask that the marked exhibits, Columbia Exhibits 4 and 5, be admitted into the record.
Any objection to Columbia Exhibits 4 and 5? Hearing none, 4 and 5 are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no more questions for Ms. Schweitzer at this time.
Any questions from OPC, Mr. Sheehan?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Schweitzer, I would like to ask you, what is Columbia's rate of return?
Columbia's rate of return currently is 7.16%.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? It cut out.
7.16%.
Okay. And is that the same as weighted average cost of capital, or is that is it a separate number?
I do apologize. I don't have that in front of me, so I do not recall.
Okay. I wanted to ask, so the operational order charges income, which was 202,000, and I gather now it's 100 and some. How much is it currently? It's been reduced, right? It's been credited back already, or it would be credited in this adjustment.
Well, it really depends. It depends on when we would begin to accrue that interest. If we started on March 1st of 2021 and accrued interest until the time, the entire amount would be $135,328 would be credited to the customers through the PGA. It would be approximately $15,000 total for an additional credit.
Okay. Isn't it correct that the operational order charges income represents capital that the company does not need to access from shareholders or by issuing debt? Isn't that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
That the operational order charges income represents capital that the company does not have to access from either shareholders or the issuance of short-term or long-term debt.
I do apologize. I don't have that information in front of me to be able to indicate that.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Questions from staff, Mr. Spivak?
Just one question. Ms. Switzer, the 7.16% rate of return you described earlier, is that the company's authorized rate of return or the actual rate of return achieved?
It is the current company's approved rate of return.
Okay, thank you.
You have redirect, Ms. Moore.
No further questions.
Ms. Switzer, I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for your testimony this morning, and congratulations on completing your first testimony. I hope it wasn't too painful.
Thank you.
Ms. Moore, does that conclude the evidence from the company?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does OPC have any witnesses?
We do not, Your Honor.
Does staff have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. Staff has two witnesses this morning, Ms. Lucy Shea and Ms. Afton-Hauer, and we will begin by calling Ms. Lucy Shea, please.
Good morning, Ms. Shea. Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Your witness, Mr. Spivak.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Shea.
Good morning.
Do you have in front of you a document captioned in Commission Case 9510-0 entitled Direct Testimony and Exhibits of Lucy Shea on behalf of the staff of the Public Service Commission of Maryland, dated February 9th, 2021?
Yes, I do.
Does the document consist of 15 pages of question and answer testimony, one attachment, and one exhibit?
Yes, it does.
Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
Yes, I prepared it.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you wish to make at this time?
No, I don't.
And if the questions were asked of you today as they were asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, staff requests that Ms. Shea's direct testimony and exhibits be marked as Staff Exhibit 1, and further moves that they be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Any objection? Staff Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. The witness is available for cross-examination.
Go ahead. Does Ms. Moore, does the company have any questions?
We have no questions for Ms. Shea.
I apologize. I have dogs playing in the background. Mr. Sheehan, do you have questions for Ms. Shea?
I have a few questions for Ms. Shea. Good morning, Ms. Shea. So in your testimony, you recommended that the unreturned portion of operational order charges income that Columbia had received, that interest should be paid on that amount?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is the 7.16% referenced by Ms. Schweitzer, is that with the interest rate that you would recommend?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any idea why this, your recommendation that interest be paid wasn't raised by the people who negotiated this settlement agreement?
No, because I was not involved in that settlement negotiation.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Spivak, do you have any redirect?
I do not, Your Honor.
Ms. Shea, I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for your testimony this morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Spivak, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commission staff calls Afton-Hauer to.
Good morning.
Good morning,
morning,
Ms.
Ms.
Howard. Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Can you spell your first and last name for the court reporter, please?
A-F as in Frank, T-O-N-H-A-U-E-R.
Thank you. Mr. Spivak, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Hauer.
Good morning.
Do you have in front of you a document captioned in case 9510-0 entitled Direct Testimony and Exhibits of Afton-Hauer on behalf of the staff of the Public Service Commission of Maryland, dated February 9th, 2021?
Yes, I do.
Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
Yes.
Does the document consist of 4 pages of question and answer testimony and one exhibit?
Yes.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you'd like to make at this time?
No, I do not.
And if the questions were asked of you today as they are asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, staff requests that Ms. Howard's direct testimony and exhibits be marked as Staff Exhibit 2 and further moves that they be admitted into the evidentiary record.
Any objection? Hearing none, Staff Exhibit 2 is admitted.
And the witness is available for cross-examination.
Ms. Moore, do you have any questions?
I have no questions for Ms. Hauer.
Mr. Sheehan?
OPC has no questions, Your Honor.
I also don't have any questions for Ms. Howard. So, Ms. Howard, thank you for your testimony this morning. You are released.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheehan, what is the Office of People's Counsel's position in this matter?
Could you repeat the question, Your Honor?
What is OPC's position in this matter?
OPC's current position, and we do have a new acting People's Counsel, is that monies due to ratepayers should bear interest.
Thank you, Mr. Sheehan. Does any party have any other matters that need to be taken up this morning?
Just one thing for the record, Your Honor. Columbia's weather station designations can be found at Commission Mail Log number 231246.
Mr. Sheehan, I asked that question so your witness, your expert would have that information for next year. So did you get that mail log number from Mr. Spivak?
Oh, no, I did not.
Mr. Spivak, is it 231246 is the mail log where the two weather station designations are listed? Thank you, Mr. Spivak.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are there any further matters? Thank you, everyone. This was a painless process this morning. I appreciate everyone's virtual expertise. We can go off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd, for looking
Thank
that up.
you.
You're welcome.
Take care.